Welcome to 3000% Voltron Love with me, Mel, that-meiko-girl. This is the show where I give my sincere and respectful opinion on VLD. Today's topic is a request by Miles. Thank you, Miles! Requests are welcome. If there is a topic you'd like me to discuss within the realm of VLD, please let me know. And so, for today, I would like to talk about Lance being swapped out with Shiro in scenes with Keith. You've seen them, right? Have you ever been scrolling along on Tumblr or Twitter one day and happened across clips from the Blade of Mamora, but see Lance is the one talking to Keith instead of Shiro? Say, after Season 6 came out, you happened to see a picture of Keith holding on to Lance as they fell through the atmosphere. Hey! That wasn't what happened! No, it was not. Here's the funny part. Shiro and Keith were being incorrectly labeled as problematic when they weren't. They were being misrepresented as being blood-related brothers when they weren't. So, if their scenes were supposed to be more familial than romantic, why was there the need to swap Shiro with Lance at all? If Shiro and Keith's moments in entwining story arcs were purely brotherly, then why remove Shiro to put Lance in his place? Wouldn't that, in effect, make Lance Keith's brother? Oh wait, no, it'd make Lance Keith's father figure, right? Why give Lance traits similar to Shiro, while at the same time trying to push Shiro out of the leader seat to make it available for Lance? If by swapping out Shiro with Lance, you see a scene between Lance and Keith being romantic, then that only means that the scene between Shiro and Keith was romantic. To see it as anything else would be lying to yourself. And you know that! You can't have the scenes only be romantic if Lance is there, and then be brotherly when Shiro was there with Keith. So, according to anti-logic, because Lance is closer to Keith's age, it's perfectly fine to slip him into the scenes that originally had Shiro with Keith. When it's Shiro hugging Keith, it's a dad/brother hugging his son sibling. How does that work? But when it's changed to Lance, all of a sudden it's read as romantic. How? Newsflash! The Shiro-Keith scenes were supposed to be seen as romantic. Lance was not. It never was. So I can surmise Auntie saw the chance to lie to others about Sheith to turn them away from VLD so they could protect their Fanon Lance and Fanon Clance. Fanon Lance and Fanon Clance. Very important to take notice to. The Sheith moments were so potently powerful and story supported, it was seen as a threat. Because how dare an older man take away the only viable option for Keith, and I dare some auntie to lie to me and tell me that nonsense was not what they were thinking. As I've said in another video, Clance is a crack ship. It never got much screen time because it was never intended to be a thing. That's just the truth. If you love your Clance, you should by all means enjoy it, love the heck out of it, and create fantastic fanworks for it. Making something you love brings out the best in you and creates happiness. I say this from experience, and when you're happy, the will to make misery for someone else gets thrown out the window. Lance is not Shiro. Lance does not have PTSD. He did not lose a limb. He is not a garrison captain or admiral. As I've said once before, Lance should not need traits from other already existing characters in order to appear interesting or in order to be someone Keith would naturally fall for. If you feel the need to add other characters' traits to Lance for these reasons or for any reason, then you are creating your own version of Lance and dismissing actual Lance. Allow me to clarify. If you make Lance more like Shiro by giving him Shiro's traits, rank, and disabilities, you hate canon Lance and love a Fanon Lance. Fanon Lance is a fake Lance. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. Fanon Lance is not the real Lance. You might say, I can make a character whatever I want. I didn't mean to steal things from other characters. It just happened. My response to you is this. Let me tell you a little something about intent. Okay, here comes a real life lesson. Intent means nothing, and I had to learn this the hard way. So let me give you a scenario. Imagine you were walking down the street and bumped into someone who's carrying a fragile, one-of-a-kind heirloom, and you made them drop it. Something their late parents had passed down to them now lays shattered in pieces at your feet. Sure, you could cry out, "I didn't mean to," but guess what? The end result is you broke it. You destroyed it. You took something precious from them. You did that. It's your fault. You apologizing or saying you didn't mean to do it don't matter. It won't unbreak the heirloom. So when you say you don't mean to take obvious traits from other characters and give them the lance to make him a better character, the end result is you did. Is Canon Lance that unsatisfying to you that you have to change his character in an attempt to make him Shiro-Light or a better character than what he already is? Something to think about, huh? And that should do it for now. Also, a heads up, the next set of videos that I make for this will likely be reduced in the amount of art that I use, so you'll be able to do other things while you listen. Isn't that convenient? Right? This has been another episode of 3000% Voltron Love!